Welcome to Tech Talks with Kinsoft.
Great to be here.
Today we're going to unpack some, well, pretty significant cybersecurity incidents that have happened recently.
Yeah, things that offer some really crucial lessons for, pretty much everyone navigating the digital world.
Exactly. We want to look beyond just the headlines.
Right. Try to understand the patterns, maybe the broader implications of these threats, especially for industries going through rapid digital changes.
Okay, so let's jump straight into a big one. The Metricon Homes ransomware attack.
Ah, yes, Metricon, Australia's largest home builder.
They confirmed they were hit by the Quillen ransomware group. This was discovered around July 24th, 2025.
Though the attack itself probably started a few days earlier, maybe July 21st.
And the scale of this breach.
Yeah.
What did we find out?
Well, it was quite alarming, actually. The attackers, Quillen, claim they took about 128 gigabytes of sensitive data.
Wow, 128 gigs, that's a lot.
It really is, over 98,000 files. And it wasn't just random data either.
No, what kind of stuff?
We're talking confidential financial documents, proprietary architectural plans. Think about the IP value there.
Yeah.
Huge. Internal marketing strategies, company credits, even employee details, credit card receipts, finance and HR info, profit and loss statements, staff salaries, commission rates.
So really sensitive internal information.
Extremely. And the hackers gave them a deadline, right? 7 days to meet demands or they'd publish it all.
Okay, so that's the threat. How did Metricon reportedly handle it?
Well, there's public statements mentions swift containment, bringing in external experts. They claimed no impact on safety or construction, that internal systems were back online, payments going through normally, the standard response playbook.
And they notified the authorities.
Yes, the Australian Cybersecurity Centre, the ACSC, also the Office of the Australian Information Commissioner, the OAIC, and law enforcement, all the right boxes ticked, seemingly.
Is there more to it when a company this size gets hit, especially by this Quillen group?
Absolutely. While, swift containment is good, it suggests they had some kind of incident response plan.
Right.
The fact this breach happened, and with this much data extracted by Quillen, that's significant. Quillen is apparently the third most active ransomware group globally right now.
Third most active. Wow.
Yeah, something like 625 claimed victims since August 2022. They're a Russian-speaking group operating what's called Ransomware as a Service, or RAS.
Yes, ransomware as a service. So they build the tools and let others carry out the attacks.
Exactly, like a franchise model for cybercrime. They provide the malware, the infrastructure, and affiliates lease it to launch attacks. Quillen itself was first spotted back in July 2022.
So pretty sophisticated operation then.
In terms of impact and organization, yes. But what's really interesting is how they often get in.
Okay.
Despite the scale of attacks like Metricon, their initial access often relies on pretty, basic methods. Phishing, spear phishing.
Malicious emails, messages, that kind of thing.
Exactly. Or exploiting known vulnerabilities in common software like Citrix or Remote Desktop Protocol, RDP, things that should be patched.
So it's not always some super complex zero-day exploit.
Often not. It really highlights that even these major threat actors frequently rely on fundamental weaknesses. Human error, or just basic security hygiene like patching.
That's a really important point. The entry point doesn't always reflect the eventual damage.
Precisely.
And for you listening, this matters because it goes beyond just Metricon's immediate problems. Think about those stolen architectural plans.
Competitors could gain huge strategic advantages.
They could undermine their competitive edge for years, long after the breach is supposedly contained. It shows the long-term risks.
Definitely. The long tail of a data breach.
Which brings us to the construction industry itself. Metricon is a huge player. But why does this sector seem so, appealing to cybercriminals? Is it just about ransomware?
That's a great question. It's not just ransomware, and construction has this sort of unique mix of factors making it a prime target.
Okay, like what?
Well, first off, high-value transactions. Construction projects involve enormous sums of money, contracts, payments.
Millions, easily.
Right. So that makes it ripe for ransomware demands, sure, but also phishing aimed at diverting payments, financial fraud. The potential payout is just huge.
Makes sense. What else?
Second, the sheer amount of sensitive data they handle. Blueprints, designs, bids, contracts, employee details, client information.
All valuable on the dark web.
Absolutely. For identity theft, corporate espionage, or like we said, giving competitors an edge.
Okay, transactions, data. What's number 3?
Third, and this is a big one for construction, complex supply chains. projects involve tons of stakeholders, main contractors, subcontractors, suppliers.
Right, hundreds of different companies potentially involved in one project.
Exactly, and they all have different levels of cybersecurity maturity. A hacker might breach a smaller, less secure vendor.
Like an HVAC company or something.
Yeah, precisely, and use that as a stepping stone into the main contractor's network. It's the classic weakest link problem.
That makes the whole ecosystem vulnerable.
Very much so. Then fourth, you often find outdated cybersecurity measures.
Legacy systems. Old software.
Yeah, especially maybe in smaller firms. Systems that just don't have protection against modern threats. Easy targets for hackers scanning for known vulnerabilities. We're not always talking cutting-edge attacks here.
Just unpatched systems sometimes.
Sometimes, yes. And finally, there's the increasing digitalization.
Ah, the move towards more tech. BIM software, IoT sensors, cloud platforms.
Right. All these things boost efficiency, which is great. But adopting them quickly can mean security sometimes lags behind.
Expanding the attack surface.
Dramatically. Every connected device, every cloud service, every remote worker is a entry point if not secured properly from the start. It's that double-edged sword. More efficiency, but also more risk.
That paints a really clear picture. High value, rich data, complex chains, maybe lagging security, and rapid tech adoption. A perfect storm almost.
It can be, yeah.
So, ransomware gets the headlines, but you mentioned other threats. What else are we seeing frequently targeting industries like construction and others?
Oh, absolutely. Ransomware is visible, but there's a whole toolkit attackers use. Phishing is still huge.
We mentioned that as an entry point for Quillen.
Exactly. Tricking users into giving up info via email, texts, sometimes even voice calls now. That's called vishing.
Voice phishing.
Okay.
Wow.
It works well in construction with lots of temporary staff or subcontractors who might not know the usual protocols.
It's like getting a fake urgent request from head office.
Precisely.
Right.
And it's not just small companies. Even Google got hit by vishing recently. The Shiny Hunters group used it back in June to steal business contact info from Google's Salesforce.
Google.
Wow.
Shows anyone can be vulnerable to that social engineering side.
It really does. Then there's business email compromise, or BEC.
That's the one where they impersonate the CEO or someone.
Exactly. Pretending to be a senior person to request a fraudulent wire transfer or sensitive data. Very potent in construction because of the large sums changing hands constantly. Fake invoices, requests to change bank details, happens all the time.
Scary stuff.
Then supply chain attacks, which we touched on, getting into your network via a less secure partner.
Right. Emphasizing the need to vet vendors.
Definitely. And distributed denial of service, DDoS attacks, flooding a network to knock it offline.
Disrupting operations. Maybe demanding a ransom to stop.
Correct. We saw a big example just recently with Orange France.
The big mobile provider.
Yeah, huge. Serves like 290 million customers across Europe and Africa. They detected an attack on an internal system around July 25th.
What happened?
Caused significant service disruptions, mainly in France, for both business and consumer customers. And it happened amid worries about state-sponsored threats in telecoms, so it raised questions about espionage, too.
So disruption and potentially something more sinister.
Potentially. And just quickly, other recent things. Over 200,000 New Zealand government and health credentials found on the dark web.
Oof. Massive personal data exposure.
Huge. But on a brighter note, there was the global takedown of the Black Suit ransomware group.
Ah, good news for a change.
Yeah, they'd apparently extorted over $500 million from about 184 victims. So law enforcement is fighting back, but the threats are relentless.
Wow. Okay, that's quite a landscape of threats. So putting it all together, for businesses listening, especially those in vulnerable sectors like construction, what are the absolute must-do cybersecurity practices? What's non-negotiable?
Right, how do you build resilience? It really comes down to a layered approach, several key things.
Yeah.
First, and maybe the most fundamental, employee training and awareness. Continuously.
Not just a once-a-year thing.
Absolutely not. Regular training on spotting phishing, social engineering, understanding company policies. Your people are your first line of defense, but they need the knowledge.
Makes sense. What's next?
Multi-factor authentication, MFA. It's not optional anymore.
The code to your phone thing.
Yeah, adding that extra layer beyond just a password. But you also need to guard against ways attackers try to bypass it, like MFA fatigue attacks, where they spam you with requests. It needs to be everywhere.
Okay, MFA is critical, then.
Regular software updates and patch management keep everything current. Operating systems, applications.
Close those known security holes.
Exactly. So many breaches exploit known, unpatched flaws. It's basic hygiene, but crucial.
Got it. Patching? What else?
Network segmentation. This is about dividing your network into smaller, isolated zones.
So if one part gets breached,
It doesn't automatically give the attacker access to everything. It contains the damage, limits their ability to move laterally. It's part of a zero-trust mindset.
smart. Slows them down.
Right. Then strict access controls, the principle of least privilege.
Only give people access to what they absolutely need for their job.
Precisely. Limit who can see or touch sensitive data.
Okay. And protecting the data itself.
Data encryption, both when it's stored and when it's being transmitted, makes it unreadable even if stolen, unless they have the key.
Like locking it in a safe.
Good analogy.
Hmm.
And speaking of safety nets, robust data backup and recovery systems.
Having copies stored securely offsite.
Yes, and regularly testing that you can actually restore from those backups. Essential for bouncing back quickly from ransomware or other data loss events, minimizes downtime.
Crucial for business continuity.
Very. Also, vendor and supply chain management. Really vetting your partner's security practices. Remember the weakest link.
Right, that supply chain risk again.
And finally, having an incident response plan and actually testing it.
Practice drills. Tabletop exercises.
Exactly. Knowing who does what, who to call, how to isolate systems before an attack happens makes the response much smoother and more effective. Don't wait for a crisis to figure it out.
That's a really comprehensive list. Training, MFA, patching, segmentation, access control, encryption backups, vendor management, and planning. Seems like a solid defense.
It provides layers. No single thing is foolproof, but together they build strong resilience.
But even with all that,
Yeah.
no system is perfect, right? What's the final safety net? The thing that helps when the worst still happens.
Yeah, that's where cyber insurance comes in.
Hmm.
And it's important to see it as part of the overall strategy, not a substitute for good security.
Right. It doesn't prevent attacks, but helps manage the aftermath.
Exactly. It helps mitigate the financial fallout, covers things like business interruption costs, data recovery expenses, legal fees, PR help, things that might not be covered by your general liability insurance.
So it fills specific cyber-related gaps.
Yes. And a really valuable part of many policies is access to expert panels.
Specialists.
Yeah.
Like forensic IT lawyers.
Precisely. Pre-vetted experts you can call on immediately during a crisis. That can be invaluable for managing the incident quickly and effectively, protecting your operations, your reputation, and your finances.
Makes sense to have that expert help on standby.
Definitely. But policies vary a lot, so it's really important to talk to a licensed insurance professional to get the right coverage for your specific business and risks.
Good advice.
Yeah.
So, wrapping up then. These incidents, Metricon, Orange France, they really show that cyber attacks are, well, a constant evolving threat.
Across all industries.
And having strong, layered cybersecurity practices isn't just a nice-to-have anymore. It's absolutely essential.
Non-negotiable, really. And maybe a final thought to leave people with.
Yeah.
As everything gets more digital and AI gets woven deeper into, well, everything, how do we all, organizations, individuals, adapt, not just to use these new technologies, but to actually secure them against these really sophisticated and persistent risks?
That's a big question, securing the future as we build it.
Yeah, it's the challenge ahead.
Definitely something to think about. If you, our listener, are interested in discussing your own security and IT needs, you can find more information and speak with experts over at www.kinsoft.com.au.
They can certainly help navigate these challenges.
Well, thanks for joining us today on Tech Talks with Kinsoft.
My pleasure.
We look forward to our next discussion.